Thank you for joining me today on Anxiety Ave. My name is Gypsy. If you're not already following me on Instagram, you can actually follow my new Instagram that I just created. The handle is @GypsyVibe, and the spelling is here on the screen for you guys. So you can go ahead and follow me there. At the time of filming this video, I don't have any content because I just literally just made it, but but I will be adding content soon. Hopefully there's already some on there by the time you guys watch this video, and you will be able to connect with me there, DM me, and we can, talk to each other over there because I'm way faster at responding to Instagram messages than I am here on YouTube. All right, so today what I wanted to talk about was something that actually affects me a lot, almost every day, and it's something I'm working through and has gotten better over the years, which is my mother triggering my anxiety. And she doesn't do this on purpose, of course, but I'm going to go into some detail about the kinds of things that she does that triggers me and why it triggers me, and some of the ways that I have been managing this so that I don't have a nervous breakdown every time I talk to my mom. So first and foremost, if you are not familiar with my backstory, please go back and watch the backstory series. You can pick and choose the topics you guys want to see, but everything is in chronological order from the start of my traumatic youth until my adulthood, and I am still currently working on that series, but we have about, I think, 9 episodes up already. That way this will make a lot more sense to you. My father died when I was 9 years old. My mother was pretty much living the single mother life and raising me and my sister by herself. Around our early teen years to by the time we moved out, every single day that we lived with my mom, we were constantly fighting. My mom's personality slowly started to deteriorate with just immense anger and temper. She can't control her temper that well. Anytime she would get upset about something, she would just flip out on us. And those of you who are dealing with parents that maybe have bipolar, schizophrenia, things like that, you probably understand what I'm talking about, where the person could be fine, they're like this, and then just out of nowhere they go whoop, just out of nowhere. You don't even know what triggered it. They just lose their mind, right? That's my mother. She's extremely, extremely angry when something happens that she doesn't like, or it doesn't have to happen. You just have to say something she doesn't like. If you say something, I'm a really open-minded person, and even though I'm religious, I guess, I have a religion, and I've had religion since I was 15 or 16 years old. But despite being religious, I'm also extremely liberal in my views. I don't think that religion condones people being intolerant, judgmental of other people's lifestyles. I feel like just because you do something, even though you belong to a religion that maybe is against that religion, that doesn't mean you're a bad person, and it doesn't mean that you're somehow representing that religion. I feel like everybody has free will. So no matter what religion you follow, you're always going to make a mistake. There's nobody who's perfect. And some people are weaker to their vices than other people are. Having more religion in your life could probably help you, but it still all boils down to that person. You could be a freaking pastor and still end up in jail for prostitution. Things like that happen. You know what I'm saying? That's not a reflection of that religion. It's just a reflection of that person's weakness. When I run into situations like that, I don't judge the person and feel like everybody from that church acts that way. I look at it like that person had a weakness. They acted like that. This is not something that I always felt. Of course, over the years, I've started to learn more about, human beings and our nature and what makes us tick and psychology. And that has helped me to develop this vantage point. But my mom doesn't think this way at all, except when it comes to herself, when she wants to break the rules, when she wants to go do whatever she feels like doing, when she wants to just cuss somebody out on the street, she'll find a way to justify it and then act like, well, Jesus is going to forgive me, so it's okay. She's not all bad, and I will get into some things that I learned from my mom that were positive things, but just overall, she's very erratic, very just high energy, and my mother will call me every freaking day and go on and on and on and rant on the phone for an hour. That's a short phone call, an hour. I don't even talk to her when she calls me. I'll just be like, yeah, okay. Half the time I mute the phone. I'm watching TV, doing something else, brushing my kids' hair, cooking. I'm not even paying attention to anything she's talking about because it's always the same redundant stuff. So this is the stuff that I want to get into that triggers me. If I actually pay attention to what she's saying, oh my gosh, like I used to have nervous breakdowns. I used to cry when I would get off the phone with my mom. Like I would be miserable for like the whole entire day. My whole day would be ruined. So first and foremost, my mother is extremely narcissistic. The whole world revolves around herself. Everything that happens is about her. Everything you do, she takes it personal. It's all about her. It somehow reflects on her. If you do good, if you do bad, everything. And especially when it comes to my sister and myself, she will take credit for everything we do right. And then anything that's wrong, she will look at it like, well, in her opinion, whatever is wrong, she'll look at it like it's just because we're crazy, like we're out of control, crazy people, and that's why we're doing whatever we're doing. So her narcissism plays a huge role in why I cannot communicate with her well, because she doesn't let other people be. Like she won't let you just be. Everything you're saying has to somehow cater to her need for attention. You have to be giving her a compliment. You have to be relating something back to her. Like if you don't do that in conversation with her, she'll just do it herself. Like for example, if I said, oh, well, my son got an award at school for art, she'll give herself the credit. She'll be like, yeah, because I'm an artist. I went to college and I have a bachelor's in fine arts and I'm such a wonderful artist, and that's why your son's such a great artist. She'll leave out the part where I'm also a good artist, my sister's a good artist, my son's dad is a good artist. Like she'll leave out all the possible factors of why else he could be a good artist and just 100% give herself the credit for it. Another thing she has a problem with is etiquette, verbal speech etiquette. When she's talking to other people, she will not say excuse me. When she like interrupts people, she'll just blurt out stuff and then cut you off and totally just take over the conversation. If you try to like get a word in, because it's hard to get a word in with my mom, like she won't take a breath when she's talking. You try to get a word in and then she'll just be like, hold on, I'm not done. Hold on, let me finish. Can I say what I'm trying to say? Like that's how she talks. She just totally deboes the conversation. And then she's really rude about the way that she'll tell the other person things. Like she sounds like she's reprimanding them. And these don't even have to be people that she's related to. Just anyone, anybody who happens to be around her. I hear her like talking to her boyfriend in the background sometimes. She'll just bark at him, like yell things at him. She'll talk to him in a very condescending way. And almost like, I'm better than you, I'm smarter than you, you're so beneath me, oh my gosh, can't you get anything right? Like that's her whole attitude when she's talking to people. Can you guys believe my mom used to be a teacher? When we lived in Korea, she was a teacher. Like she had her own like art school that my grandmother opened for her before I was even born. And she used to tutor people in English. And people love her. This is the thing. Like, yo, my mom has so many friends. Like, I have a hard time making friends. And it's not my personality. It's not because I don't know how to be a friend. I'm actually a very loyal person. But I have a hard time making friends because it's difficult for me to relate to people who psychologically and intellectually are not on my level. So I'll tolerate them. I'll be around them for a little while. But after a while, I'll just get bored because I'll be like, I'm doing all the talking. I'm doing all the entertaining. I'm doing all the storytelling. I'm the one with most of the personality. I'm the one that's critically thinking here. Like, what do you guys do? This is one of the reasons why I wanted to start this channel, because when people saw my Broken Dolly TV channel, which some of you guys are visiting from there, they have this persona of me that they believe is me 24 hours a day, and that's not who I am. I'm like that only when I'm in public, but I have to be that way because when I'm like this, talking about real stuff, talking about psychology, talking about thinking, talking about, self-esteem, things like that, these concepts, these intangible things, people freak the hell out. They don't know what to think. They don't know what to do. They don't want to hear it. It makes them uncomfortable. So that aspect of my personality, it's difficult for people to be around all the time. And also they feel a lot of pressure because they can't keep up with the conversation. They never been through anything. So like they cannot keep up with the conversation. So I have to put on this act of being happy-go-lucky and cheerful and joking around all the damn time in order for people to not freak out when they're around me too long. And the people who see me like this, the way I normally am, are my family members that are inside my household with me. So it's like I live like a double life almost when it comes to dealing with people. And I wish it wasn't that way, but it's very difficult to find people who are at your intelligence level when you have a high IQ, because we're rare. Like it's difficult. And then even the people who are somewhat smarter, like we don't always have the same walk of life. We don't have the same belief systems. So even when you run into people who are pretty intelligent, Some people are extremely intelligent but really religious, so they can't hang out with me because I cuss too much, you know? Another thing that triggers me with my mother is that she's a control freak. So when she's talking to you, she needs to be in control of everything that's going on in the conversation and all of your thought processes. Like, she wants to be involved in every decision you're making. Like, I've had times when me and my husband will go move to a new town, we'll go lease an apartment, and she'll flip out because we didn't put her name on the lease. And I'm like, why the hell would we put your name on the lease? You don't live here. Because just in case, what if something happens, then I have to go and live with you guys. Well, then we would just open our doors to you. I don't need your name on my lease in order for you to come stay with me. So my sister had bought a house a few years ago, and my mother insisted that she give her a portion of her property so she can open a store there. These weird, harebrained schemes my mother will think up, and then try to drag my sister and me into it with her because she can't do it by herself. She needs someone to help her with it. But the idea itself will be like, this is stupid. I'm not doing this. There's so many things like that my mother has forced us to give her money to participate in with her. A timeshare that she wanted to, but she didn't just want the timeshare to vacation there. She wanted to basically use it as an Airbnb to make money off of it, but she don't know anything about this. So I'm like, there's no research. It's just the salespeople basically talking you up. And I'm sitting here listening I speak fluent English and I don't believe these niggas. You're just going to give them your money? I thought it was the stupidest thing ever. When I was telling her my skepticism, I don't know if this is a good idea, she started flipping out, getting angry and saying, just help me out right now. And I'm going to work it. I'll do all the work. You just give me the money so we can start this thing. So I'm like, oh my God, okay, whatever. So I gave her some money. When she realized a month later that it was useless and it was much harder than she imagined in her mind it would be to market this thing in order to actually use it as an Airbnb, she called up the people and flipped out on the phone, yelling and screaming at them, saying that they had tricked her or they lied to her about something and that she's refusing to pay any more money on it and they better not take the money out of our account or she's going to sue them. She had me go and open up a joint bank account with her. But I'm like, dude, my name is on this. You can't just do whatever you want with my name on it. Do you not understand that? She doesn't care. She does not care. So she has this sense of she always has to control what's going on around her, and she'll bully people into doing it. She'll bully them not by threatening them, but she'll just bully them with her temper, with her rage. She'll just scare you into just doing whatever she wants you to do. She's a very intimidating person, even though she's tiny. She's a little tiny Asian lady, but her personality, no. Her personality is like a fucking Viking or something. She should be in the mafia. She's like that. She's not scared of nobody. She'll argue with grown men on the street if she thinks that he wronged her in some way. She don't care. She does not care. She's more I dare you to do something to me. What are you going to do to me, bitch? What the fuck are you going to do? She'll talk like that to guys on the street. You cannot do that. She's super judgmental when she talks about you or anyone around you. Anyone in general, really. I've never really heard my mother say beautiful things about people. It's usually gossip. Today, she had me on the phone for an hour ranting about her next door neighbor who she claims was a foster parent who lost her children 2 months ago and got hauled off to jail, and then come to find out this lady was smoking angel dust or whatever. Do you smoke angel dust? I don't fucking know. I'm not a drug addict. I don't know. But anyways, ingesting angel dust. She doesn't like this lady's lifestyle. She doesn't like that she was conning the government into giving her money for these foster kids, claiming that they were special needs kids when they really aren't. This is my mom's opinion. She thinks that they're not really special needs kids. and my mom's sitting here doing the math, oh, she's making this much money a month off these kids. She's an evil bitch. But she's just going on and telling me every single detail. Why do I even know this stuff? Why do I know this stuff about this lady that lives next door to her? I don't know this bitch. Why the fuck do I know your business, bitch? But she's telling me all this lady's fucking business. And even things that people will tell, oh, don't tell anybody I told you this, but she'll tell me that stuff. And I'm like, one, I don't want to know. I don't care. It's not important to me. And two, what the fuck you want me to do about it? What do you want me to say to you? What do you want me to say? I don't understand. She's very negative when it comes to other people. She likes to pick apart other people's personality traits that she doesn't like. She likes to compare herself to other people and their personality traits that she thinks she doesn't also have, which is really hilarious to me because a lot of the things that my mother will complain other people are doing wrong, they actually are the exact same things she constantly does to me and my sister. But when we tell her, Mom, you do that too, she will flip out. One time she called me and said, oh, can you give me a list of things that you think I should work on my personality? I said, I'm not gonna tell you. She was like, why? I was like, because you're gonna flip out. You're gonna get angry. And I don't have time for this. I don't have time to get into argument with you. So she's like, just tell me what it is. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna tell you and watch you flip out. No, I'm not gonna flip out. You're very condescending. That's a lie. I'm not condescending. How dare you say that to me? You're just making that up. I just said, you're gonna flip the fuck out, bitch. Why are you flipping the fuck out? She has a friend, this lady, she's Japanese by birth, but by culture, she's Korean because she was like adopted by Korean people. Why did my mom, oh my gosh, every single time she would hang out with this lady is like her auntie, she's older than her, right? You're supposed to be respectful to people that are older than you in Korean culture. My mother calls this lady big sister, but at the same time be so freaking like insulting to her when she talks to her. Like she would say things like, people like me who have graduated college and are high class, oh, we do this like this. I mean, you low-class people, you guys don't know anything about this. I'm trying to show you how to do this, but it's not your fault. It's because you're from a lower class. Who the fuck talks like that to their friend? Yeah, so she's really like judgy. Like she'll talk to people in this condescending tone. I tell her that she's doing this, and instead of just accepting it and saying, well, maybe I should work on that. Because I'm giving her examples, like real life stuff that I've witnessed her do, things she does to me all the time. She wouldn't accept it. Meanwhile, in the same breath, she's turning it on you. She's saying, it doesn't matter if I do that because other people make me act that way towards them. What? And then she'll say that kind of thing to me. Like she'll be like, and who the hell do you think you are judging me when you don't even know how to do this and you don't even do that right and you don't even do that right and your kids are like this and your kid and your husband is like that. You're flipping the fuck out. Like you just took the focus completely off of yourself and put it on someone else. We're not talking about me and my flaws. We're talking about you. Why are you fucking asking me this stuff and you're not even listening when I'm talking to you? This judgmental attitude that my mother has, it's extremely stressful talking to her because I can't tell her anything that's going on in my life for real. Here where I live now in Washington, I pay $1,500 in rent for a 2-bedroom apartment. That's ridiculous. Like I don't need you to tell me that that's a lot of rent. To me, that's fucking insane. Meanwhile, when we lived in North Carolina, the house that we had was a 5-bedroom. And it was a single house, private property, and we paid like $600 a month for that place. I think I know a deal when I hear one. That's the cheapest and biggest place that we've ever rented compared to like New York and other places where we lived where the rent was, it was a little bit higher. It wasn't like here, but it was a little bit higher, like $100 or $200 higher. All the places that we've lived, rental properties, especially with kids and making sure that they have their own space. Do you think my mother ever was like, even when she came to our house, she went to live in this house that we had in Carolina. You think she was like, oh, this is a great deal. Wow, you guys got a nice space here. Like, no, she was still critiquing it and saying, oh, I can't believe that this landlord is charging you guys this much money for this place. Bitch, you've never even lived in a place like this. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, me and you and my sister have never lived in a place like this in all the time we've lived around each other. Ever. We were never, like, I don't remember me and my sister ever having our own bedrooms. We never did. Never. Even as teenagers, we never had our own bedrooms. So I'm like, what do you want me to pay in rent, lady? You want me to pay $100, $200? Well, what the fuck do you want me to pay? Like, you can't compliment anything I'm doing. Like, I don't need you to kiss my ass, but you don't need to tear down every single thing I'm doing. Why is everything this conversation for, let me tell you how you can improve yourself and be better? There's certain things I don't need to improve about myself, and there's some things that are completely out of my control, like the rent here. I don't want to pay $1,500 goddamn dollars for a 2-bedroom, but we were in a rush when we came here trying to find a place because it's so hard to find a place out here. So we had to settle. Like, we're still planning to move and find something that's cheaper when we have more time to actually like look. Everything was short notice when we came here, so can you be a little understanding? Like, she just does not have that. And I have to keep telling her over and over and over again, Mom, $1,500 is the standard out here for an apartment this size. That's what people pay out here for this size place. If I want to get a bigger place, I'm going to spend more money than this. I need to raise my income in order to do that. So that leads me to, after all this judgment, you would think she would give you some good advice that you can actually apply to your life to be better. But no, she just tells you a bunch of advice that's not even like usable. She's always telling me how to save money, how to make more money, how to get rich. But she's broke. So how the hell you gonna tell me how to manage money when you don't even know how to manage money? What? Like, and she'll talk to you like she's a money managing expert. Like, she doesn't even come at you like, I'm just giving you, I heard it somewhere. It sounds like good information. Maybe you could use it. That's how I come at my kids. If I want them to learn a task or something new, I will step to them like that. I'll be like, hey, don't learn from my mistakes. The things that I do wrong, I don't want you guys to learn that stuff because I'm still playing catch up. I still don't know how to adult correctly. I really don't. I have to work a lot of this stuff out because I was so damaged mentally that I'm playing catch up right now. So I'm sorry that I don't have the skills to teach you guys these things, but it's stuff you need to learn in order to have an easier time as an adult. So I want you guys to study this stuff. I want you to listen to this. I want you to read on this. I want you to ask these people about this who know better than I do about it. That's something I talk to my son about, like about credit, about budgeting, about working versus entrepreneurship. Like, this is the kind of stuff that I talk to my kids about. But if it's something I have experience with, of course I want to tell them I have experience with it. But if I really honestly don't have experience with it, just because I wish that I was doing those things doesn't mean I actually am. So I don't come at them like I know everything, y'all. I really just come at them like I don't know. I don't know myself. But I would love for you guys to learn this stuff so that you can apply it to your own life and be better and be more well prepared for adulthood. I wish my mother would do that, but she doesn't. So it's really heart-wrenching when she starts trying to give you all this like marital advice. Bitch, you ran away from your fucking domestically abusive husband who you kept fighting with. You don't know when to shut the fuck up. You just fighting with this guy. And then got with a child molester. So like, why are you giving me relationship advice? Like, you can't keep no sane man around. Are you kidding? I would be stupid to take her relationship advice. Like, she's not a credible source for relationship advice. Why would I take her advice? Does she think about this? No. She just talks. She just keeps saying stuff. And you're like, stop talking. Stop saying things because everything you're saying makes no fucking sense. Like, my mom's the kind of person who will tell you to pick fights with your significant other to see if they really love you. I don't need to do that. If I gotta fight with you to see if I love you, I'm in the wrong relationship, bitch, because you should be nice to me. You and I should be getting along without us fighting with each other. That's some bullshit. I don't want to be in a relationship full of drama and chaos and fighting with each other. That's the norm to my mother. That's her standard for life. Oh, and then the last thing that really I struggle with is listening to my mother flipping out on other people. Like, either she's doing it in the background over the phone. She's telling me the story of how she flipped out on somebody, but actually it's like a reenactment. Because she will literally say the stuff to me as she's saying it to the other person. So like, she'll pretend I'm the other person and be like, yeah, so I said this to him, yada 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 yada. Or she'll be like, when I see her, I'm gonna tell her this, yada 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 yada. And she'll just be like screeching, like screech. And you're like, oh, what? Calm the fuck down. Like, if I don't, like, sometimes I have my phone on speaker because I'm doing stuff and I'll mute it. And my husband will come in the room and be like, is your mom yelling at you about something? Is she mad about something? Because my husband's the type of person, like, if he sees me distressed and I'm talking to my mom or something on the phone, I couldn't get off the phone. Like, I can't tell her, okay, I gotta hang up. All right, bye. Like, I'm trying to, like, figure out a way to, like, tell her I gotta get off the phone. He used to just pull the phone out of the wall. Like, he just pulled the plug out the wall because he would see like tears running down my face, me going, oh my God. Like, I would just be like so distressed, like making all these faces, like, oh my God. Like, I would just be doing stuff like that, right? And she's speaking Korean to me, so he doesn't understand what she's saying. All he hears is the tone. And he'll just be like, okay, I'm gonna give you 10 minutes to get off this phone. For the whole 10 minutes, I'm trying to get off the phone and I can't. After the 10 minutes, he'll be like, all right, this is your last chance. Tell her you gotta go. Tell her you gotta make some food for the kids or something. I'll be like, okay, Mom, I gotta make food for the kids. I gotta go. Ow, so you don't wanna hear blah? And she'll just keep ignoring me and talking. He would just go walk up to the wall, pull the fucking phone out of the wall, and that would be the end of the conversation. And then I would be like devastated, like, why did you do that? And he'd be like, it's not good for your mental health. You cannot do it yourself. I have to do it for you. You cannot let her talk to you like that. Like, you can't do this. You're fucked up. You cannot function like this. And he was right, but I was so upset because I was very trapped in this mentality that I owe my mother something. And like, this is what I have to do. I have to listen to her rant and rave on the phone and fucking flip out and go crazy because she has no one. It's just me and my sister, and my mom will go through this phase with us where when she's getting along with me and she's on speaking terms with me, she'll pick fights with my sister by doing these things that I mentioned. And my sister, her personality is very like combative. Like she's the kind of person like, you know, she kind of reminds me of my mom too sometimes with her temper, but like if she gets triggered, like she'll flip out on you too. So my sister don't give a fuck about fighting with my mom. We've been doing it our whole damn lives at this stage, so it's like it's nothing new to her to just X her out for a little while. You know what I'm saying? So my sister, instead of like just letting my mom go on, she'll confront her. She'll challenge her and be like, "Mom, you're acting like a crazy person. I'm not going to do this. I don't care what you're talking about. You're being out of hand. You're being rude. You're being overbearing. Like, you need to back the fuck off." And my mom will get so pissed off that my sister tells her this, that she will flip out on her, curse her out, curse out her husband, curse out everybody in her house, yell and scream, call her all these names, tell her she's a drug addict, tell her she's a crackhead, tell her she's a drunk whore. Like, she'll just say anything she can think of to piss her off, and then be like, "Fuck you, bitch, I don't need you," and then leave. And then and my mom and sister live in the same state, so they like actually see each other. And then she'll immediately call me up, curse out my sister to me over the phone, reenact the whole conversation to me over the phone, calm down, and she'll just be like, "Whatever, fuck that bitch, that's why I have you." And then for the next 6 months, I'm the one that's stuck having to answer all the goddamn phone calls. She can't rant to my sister. She'll always make it's the other person's fault, it's the other person's wrong, and she's not talking to them because they're fucking up. But no, like, my sister doesn't want to talk to her. Like, even if my mom called her, my sister would just probably get her off the phone real quick because she don't want to be bothered. And I don't blame her feeling like that. So how do I combat all of this? It was hard for years. Like I said, I didn't know how to manage her personality on my own. And over the years, I've learned little tricks. One of them is literally muting the phone, putting her on speaker, and tuning her out to go do other things, because then at least she feels like she got off her chest whatever she wanted to say. If I don't hear what she's saying, then it can't bother me, because I mean, obviously it's self-explanatory why. And most of the things she's saying, it's not stuff I need to listen to. It's never anything important. She's usually saying the same thing over and over and over again. She's usually just trying to glorify herself because she has this need for attention, because she's very like praise deprived. I have to just sound like I think whatever she's doing is a great idea. This is harder to do when this person is around you physically, of course, and there have been times where she's been around me physically that I've had to use other tricks. But this is one of the biggest things that have been working for me with our long distance communications. Another trick of mine is I never tell her my opinion. I used to do like my sister would do. "Hey, that sounds crazy. Are you sure you want to do that?" Like, I would give her my opinion, and then it would just be countered with her attitude, and we'd be in a fight. So instead of doing that, now what I do is, she likes to ask me my opinion about things. I think really just because she wants reassurance that her idea is good and she knows I'm more logical than she is. So she'll try to ask me what I think about something. But instead of me saying, "Oh, don't do that," or "I think you should do it like this," I'll just be like, "Do it the way you want to do it, Mom. Whatever makes you happy. If that's the way you feel like comfortable doing it, then do it like that." I never tell her what I really think. You can't argue with me. I'm not saying anything against what you're saying. I didn't say that I agree with you, but I said, do it the way you want to do it. If that's how you feel about it, then you should do it that way. So I'm not really like telling her what to do. I'm just saying words. I'm just acknowledging that she said something to me, and I'm just saying stuff back. I'm using her own words to say it right back to her. Sometimes I slip up and I'll like find myself trying to like explain something to her, or tell her that she's like wrong about something, or she's like misunderstanding something. But then when I catch myself doing that and I hear like the rebuttal that's coming from her, I'll change the subject and just be like, "Oh, that's just my opinion, but anyways, just do it the way that you want to do it." That's what I'll do, and then that saves the conversation. Another thing is, I don't take anything she says personal, even if I do accidentally like pay attention to what she's saying. Like, she'll try to manipulate other people to do things to sabotage you. Why does she do this? I'm not sure. My theory is that she's a drama queen and she just loves drama, and she's always attracting drama to herself, but she also causes a lot of drama. So that's why she does things like this. She doesn't think about the consequence when she's talking to people, but then have the nerve to be like, telling me that I need to be careful of strangers kidnapping my kids and therefore don't let them go outside. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Me inside, I want to flip out when I hear things like this. These are some of the things that I have been doing to better manage my conversations with my mother. It is hard. It's a daily struggle. Like sometimes I'll be on the phone with her, she'll say something and I'll be like, oh my God, like I'll be ready to say something back. Then I have to literally, like in my own mind, I have to tell myself, stop. Don't say it. Be quiet. Don't say anything. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Don't say anything. Sometimes I don't even have to really do that much for her to just go off. Like she will still just go off because she feels like it. And those kinds of situations I don't feel bad about because I know I genuinely didn't do or say anything to make her act like this. She's just throwing a temper tantrum because she can't get her way from me. I do believe that like you cannot repay your mom for one drop of tear that she shed during birth for you. There's nothing you can do in your life that's ever gonna make up for the sacrifice that your mother makes, carrying you in her stomach, birthing you, and then caring for you when you're completely helpless to get you to a point where you can kind of be self-functional. I understand that that is the reason why all mothers deserve for their children to show them respect. And I feel that way about my mom. That doesn't take away from all of her mental issues and problems and all the things she's done since after that time that has completely like deteriorated my level of respect in my mind for my mother. So I don't take her serious as a person. I don't really like her. I mean, I'm just being honest, you guys. It saddens me that I feel this way, but it's not, I didn't always feel like this. Over the years, I like our relationship better, but I don't like her as a person better. Like, she's still the same person that she always was. She hasn't gotten any better. If anything, she's gotten worse, but I'm just not physically around her every day to have to experience the stress of being around her. But that's how bad it was that now when she calls me once a day for an hour, the anxiety that comes over me when I'm about to answer the phone, and then when I'm on the phone and hear her screeching on the other end, and then when I have to like come up with some ruse to get off the phone, that entire experience triggers my anxiety like crazy, and it'll make me sometimes just want to like hide inside my, covers and not do anything because I'm just so distressed thinking about all the stuff that she's talking about. Like, I can control me. I can't control her, but I can control myself and how I react. It helps me to not just be cowering in my room all day long trying to hide from the world because she's reminding me of all these past traumas and freaking PTSD flashbacks that I have of like times when she yelled and screamed at me for hours and hours and hours. Like, I don't have that reaction anymore because of the way that I'm able to manage this stuff, and not taking anything she says personal helps me to do that more than probably anything else. She could tell me I'm the ugliest, fattest, stupidest, dumbest, poorest person she's ever met in her life, and I will just be like, okay, if that's how you feel. Like, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what she thinks of me anymore. I have to use self-talk to remind myself she doesn't really feel this way. She doesn't really think you're the most horrible person on the planet. She loves you, but she doesn't know how to express what she's trying to say the right way. She doesn't know the right way to express love. She's very damaged herself. She needs therapy herself. She needs help. She just refuses to go get any, but she needs it. Once I came to terms with that reality, that made it so much easier for me to deal with my mom, to suppress the triggers when they start to come up, because they do, but it helps me to like talk myself out of the anxiety. This squawking in my ear, like, it makes my heart beat so fast. I have a physical reaction to my mom's voice when I hear it. I'm like trying to run away from the inside of my head, but you can't do that. So you have to figure out a way to cope. And that's what I've been doing. I use my mom as my example because she is the main person in my life that triggers these feelings for me. Not the only, but the main one that triggers the feelings and the most feelings at a time. But I decided to use her as an example to illustrate to you guys what it's like to go through something like this. Because for some of you guys, it's not one person. Sometimes it's like a group of people, your entire family sometimes. Each person has one of these traits and they're all just coming at you at the same time. And you're like, leave me alone. Like, I don't know what to do, right? And it's even harder when you're a teenager or a child and you don't have a lot of control over your environment to get away from that. You're not just stuck in that situation, even though in the moment it feels like you are stuck. All right, well, I thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you will comment below your thoughts. and be nice to each other in the comments. And if you have any questions, you can definitely post them here. But if you want a quick response, go ahead and post them on my new Instagram page that I started at Gypsy Vibe. Some questions I may end up answering in video form, so make sure that you're looking out for the videos too, because if you ask me something and then I decide to make a video to respond, you'll get more detail that way. But if you're not subscribed, then you won't know that I had made a video in response to whatever it was that you were talking about or asking me. So go ahead and subscribe, and you can turn the notifications on if you want. If you don't want to subscribe, then bookmark this page, take a screenshot, whatever you need to remember to come back here so you can check the updated videos. And I will see you guys next time on Anxiety F. Adios. That whole... Ooh, okay. Sorry.